Hey, what's up? It's Bon. Today we're going to talk about Mass Effect kind of more directly. We're going to talk about Unreal Engine 5. This is the engine that we assume the next Mass Effect will be on. Some now fulfilled roles that were being hired for the next game specifically. Stated Unreal Engine 4 and 5 experience was desired, if not required. And I think from then we've kind of assumed. And that's been kind of a nebulous thing. We had the Unreal Engine 5 beta come out a while back, and then they did their full release. They did that Matrix demo, and then we've seen things here and there about the new engine that has made, I think, people fairly hopeful and excited for it, but maybe not fully understand why it matters with their nanite tech and things like that. Then we saw Fortnite upgrade to Unreal Engine 5. I think that became much more real to people. We're starting to see that some games are releasing finally on the engine, and we're starting to see the advantages both graphically and development wise and things like that. Well, it's GDC week, and today Epic is doing their big announcements and all of that, their big show. And I just saw them do a demo with the voice actress from Senua's Sacrifice and Senua's Saga, the Hellblade games. And she's pretty well known for she was an amateur with the first game and now is continuing her role, and is very expressive and does a great job. And part of why the first Hellblade game was so good was because they really captured her emotions and stuff really well with Unreal Engine 4, I believe. And now with Unreal Engine 5, they've implemented a lot more tech to make that even better and easier. And so this demo, and the reason I wanted to make this quick video, was to talk about how absolutely flabbergasted I am by the demo they showed, because what they showed was using a cell phone, they were able in real time to capture a quick performance by her, upload it into Unreal Engine 5, and using this MetaHuman animation app. And I know these are around, but I don't believe other ones are as good as this, and especially not as fast. Within a couple minutes, they uploaded her animation that they captured from a phone, attached it to a game model, in any MetaHuman model, and had it play out. And sure, I wouldn't say it was perfect, but it was really, really, really good. And the impression I'm under is that this type of animation done by hand, which is traditional for especially talking, lip sync, facial animation, has to be done pretty fine-tuned. This really shows why this engine may be a big deal for games moving forward, because for indie studios, you have indie games that sometimes don't do any facial animations at all because it's so expensive, it's so resource intensive, it's so hard to do well, that you'll sometimes see games make sure that their characters have masks on and just do audio, or make sure or do text instead of voice. And now you're going to see indie studios, if they have a phone, be able to do this at a much higher level of fidelity. And then you start thinking about AAA studios, and especially this demo that we saw, not only the live demo, but then they showed a demo from the actual new Hellblade game. And you can see that even just to start off with this high quality of an animation, and then they can go in and fine tune it by hand, but instead of starting from scratch, they get to start from a really good place in an engine that is relatively easy to work with. I've been told. I'm not a dev, I'm not going to pretend to understand all this stuff, but for me, and where this wraps around to Mass Effect, is there's a lot of speculation all over the place about the time frame of the next Mass Effect. Part of this demo, and I want to iterate before I move on, was showing this procedural generation of environments and stuff. And so when we think about game dev, we think about how it's getting longer and longer, more expensive, and so on. But this tech they're showing us with Unreal Engine 5 is supposed to be pushing back on that. It's supposed to be helping make it easier for game developers to make games. And so when we see this huge efficiency savings in facial animation and things like that, matching up the lips to the words automatically, not having to do it by hand, being able to generate insanely gorgeous and well customized environments procedurally, things like that, it really makes you stop and think like, well, maybe the next Mass Effect isn't 4, 5, 6 years away. Maybe it really could come out by 2024, 2025. And that's exciting. It's not guaranteed. Maybe things happen and the game gets delayed indefinitely. Maybe it never comes out. I don't know. I'm not going to pretend to have the answer to these things. But what I will say is that it is exciting to at least consider the possibility of what Unreal Engine 5 could do for how quickly games come out, as well as their quality. Sure, you can put out a game in a year or two, but it's probably going to be extremely low in scale and or bad or buggy or whatever. Or you can go the Rockstar route and take 10 years to develop a game, and it works for them, but not every publisher wants to do that and have high quality everything. But that's not realistic for most of the games industry. I don't think it's realistic for the next Mass Effect. I think there's people who think that Dragon Age will come out this year or next, and then they have 2 or 3 years to put out Mass Effect. I don't think they do. Either whether the pressure comes from EA, from the community, or from themselves. So I really think that the stuff that we're seeing about Unreal Engine 5 today, I'm sure we'll see more, is a big indicator of why I don't think that Mass Effect will be as far away as people think, especially if all of this stuff works as well as it seems to. That's all I have for this one. If you liked the video, please subscribe to my channel and like it. Make a comment down below with what you think about Unreal Engine 5. If you saw any of these demos, let me know what you think. I'm genuinely curious. That's all I have for this one. So until next time.